YouTube.
What do you have going on for the rest of your day?
I have 4 hours of an organic chemistry lab.
I feel so bad that she has to go to class and I just get to keep eating grapes, hanging out on this beautiful day. It's not fair, although it is fair, because I graduated. I put in the grunt work. She's almost halfway there. Okay, this is a vulnerable video that I'm gonna make, but a very needed and important one. Let me just admit to you, 100%, I am an addict. I'm not a drug addict, I'm not an alcoholic. I am totally an exercise addict, full blown, 100%. Probably will always be for the rest of my life, just how alcoholics, even if they're 20 years sober and in recovery, they still call themselves alcoholics because it's something that will never go away, the urge to take another drink, to get that buzz, that numbing feeling, even though they can suppress it and manage it. That is my relationship with exercise, 100%. I don't think it'll ever go away. If you go back and watch my male eating disorder story video, maybe I'll link it up here, I talk pretty in depth about when I was in an eating disorder. It was also together with an exercise disorder where I would make myself, if I was in class and it was lunch period, I would go into the bathroom and bust out 50 push-ups in order to allow myself to eat, because I had this relationship with exercise where I could only deserve to eat if I had exercise before, and that's not healthy. That's a serious problem, and if you can relate to that, you definitely have something you need to work through in terms of your relationship with food, your relationship with exercise. But over the years, from just brutally beating up my body, not eating enough, not resting enough, I went through a period where I gained a bunch of weight and built a bunch of muscle, and even though I was dedicated in the gym and working out, which is another sign of my exercise addiction, I transferred it from, I'm having an unhealthy relationship with cardio, to now I'm gonna be in the gym lifting weights for an hour and a half or 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I justified it. I said, I'm gaining weight, I'm building muscle, so I must be done with my exercise disorder. Honestly, it did help me in a way, because in order to build muscle, you have to rest, and that's how you really gain big mass, is from working hard in the gym but resting equally as much. So it was a good stepping stone, but I was full-blown obsessed with it, and I admit that, and because I'm an addict and it's never gonna go away. And I can have this sort of light energy about it because I can admit it to myself. I can be transparent and let my friends, family, my viewers know that I have this problem, and try to manage it to the best of my abilities while remaining healthy. So I gained a bunch of muscle, I did better, I rested more, and right now, I've lost a ton of weight over the last few months. I'd say at the beginning of this summer, I was probably around 175, 80 pounds, and right now I'm 160 pounds. I've lost like 20 pounds, some muscle from when I was cycling across Thailand and Malaysia. I was cycling every day. I was naturally gonna lose a bunch of weight. Now I'm training for this Ironman, and I'm putting in a lot of hours. I'm swimming, biking, and running, one of those almost every day. Today is a full-blown rest day, not doing anything except for commuting around on my bike. But yeah, I just wanna talk about how I manage being an exercise addict, because I am one. If I don't exercise most days of the week, I am irritable, I'm anxious, I don't think highly of myself, and these are all things that I'm working on, because ultimately, what do I promote and what do I believe? That self-love comes from the self. You shouldn't judge yourself and love yourself based on how much exercise you do, how fit you are, how lean you are, how much you can lift, how much you can run. Self-love, the only true place to get it is from just saying, I'm a breathing, vulnerable, emotional human being, and that's enough. I can give hugs to my friends, I can wake up and do good work for the world. I'm enough, I love myself. But I'm in a place, and I think I'll forever be in this place, where I have to exercise in order to just really, right now, feel fully in love with myself and good with myself. And if I don't exercise a lot, I kind of say, other people are better than me, other people are fitter than me. And I'm trying to process that and kind of manage what what is healthy about that in terms of me having a drive to do better, me being competitive, and what is actually unhealthy and that I'm judging myself too much based on something that is so meaningless. How many miles I can ride on a two-wheeled object in a certain amount of time. It's silly, but I'm not a perfect enlightened being, and I judge myself sometimes based on my looks and based on my physical activity, and we live in a competitive world. YouTube is a competitive space. There's a lot of people cycling and doing awesome things, and I want to measure myself up to a lot of those people that I admire. So that's where this kind of addiction comes from. Social media, as I've said, I think before on this YouTube channel, is like a knife. You can chop up a salad with a knife and nourish yourself for a healthy dinner, or you can cut your wrist, or you could hurt someone with a knife. A knife is not a problem. A knife is a tool, but you can use it for good or you can use it for really bad things. Social media is the same way. I get so motivated to, change people's lives on social media. My life's been changed from viewing other people's channels on social media. But at the same time, we're exposed to the fittest people in the world, the most attractive people in the world, the leanest people in the world, the richest people in the world. And you measure yourself up to other people and you judge yourself, and it's kind of a part of the game of social media because we're not enlightened, perfect beings. So when we see someone doing something incredible, we kind of feel crappy about ourselves if we can't get to that point too. So I just wanted to make this video to say that yes, I'm a full-blown addict. I'm an exercise addict. Yesterday I swam an hour intensely in the pool, and then I did the Stairmaster, and then I did some ab workouts, which is fine. Exercise is good, but I do that kind of thing 6 days a week because it just makes me feel good and I love it. And what I'm trying to do is manage that in a healthy way. And some of the ways in which I'm doing that is I have a goal now. I signed up for an Ironman triathlon in 30 days. Is when the race is. I signed up for it a little while ago. And now I actually have a goal. I'm gonna make a video about it. I'll wear my vegan kit for it. And I have something to prove now. I exercise now because I'm training for something. I think one really unhealthy habit is if you are compulsively exercising just so you can eat. Okay, today I'm gonna eat as much as I possibly want and I'm not doing any exercise. And that is so much healthier than the way it used to be for me. I used to exercise so that I could eat. And if I couldn't fit in time to exercise, I wouldn't eat as much. And that's not what happens anymore. So it's different. You can still exercise a lot in a healthy way. I think setting goals and having things to look forward to, being competitive to a certain extent, it could take you down a rabbit hole that's unhealthy, where you measure yourself up to competitive athletes and go way too hard and go down that rabbit hole. Or you can just say, I'm going to compete with myself, sign up for a race, for a competition, and really work. Align your training with what's actually going to get you the best results in your race or competition. Don't align your training with how much you can eat that day. Does that make sense? There's a helicopter. To conclude, I'm not perfect. I got a lot of shit to work through emotionally. And I'm not saying that being fit is bad. Being fit and being an athlete, if that's what calls to you, is an awesome thing. Inserting this after the fact because I was thinking about it today that I didn't mention. I enjoy getting outside in nature. I enjoy moving my body. It's not always just, train in order to get better at your fitness. You can go out and train because it's amazing. Some of my rides, you can look on Strava, I go through national parks and forests and I'm in the trees, and now I'm trail running and running in trails. I love doing it. You see nature, you meet other people. Fitness is one of my hobbies. It's one of the ways that I have fun. I love being out there and just being out in nature and training my body. But it's very easy to not be in check with yourself throughout this process, especially if you're someone like me who's obsessive, interested in nutrition. There are a few signs. For instance, overtraining, getting a minor injury, let's say a tendon hurt, a bone hurts, and still exercising to your maximum capacity throughout an injury. That right there is a clear sign of an unhealthy relationship with exercise. Here's why. If you really cared about optimizing your training, if you got an injury, you would rest it for as long as you possibly needed until you can heal, because you can't maximally advance in your fitness with an injury. But if you're someone who just likes to exercise so that you can secretly eat and feel better about yourself, you will exercise through that injury because you don't really care about the long-term impacts of your training. You just care how many calories you burn. I've been in both spectrums. Right now, I haven't taken a run, even though my Ironman's in 30 days, in about 15 days because I had this little tendon issue and I rested it for over 2 weeks. And then yesterday I ran like a half a mile and just tested it, and it feels great. And I rested that time. If I would have done that a year or two ago, I would have continued to run on that injury and it would have hurt and I wouldn't have cared because I would still burn those calories. So you have to keep yourself in check here, that you're training in order to optimize your performance rather than training just so you could feel good about yourself and eat. This is a real addiction. It's not as mainstream maybe as alcoholism, being addicted to drugs, but it is real. I'm a full-blown addict. I'm an addict for exercise. It's just so clear to me. It's so obvious. And so it's important for me to share that with you guys, let you know what I'm going through, but also let you know that I am working through it and I can continue to exercise and train for something while also sort of mending my addiction. And not like, if I wanted to full-blown act in my exercise addiction, I would just exercise and then I'd measure out my food and eat just maybe a little bit less than the calories I burned, and I would be very calculated and do that. I did that when I had an eating disorder for like a whole year. I don't do that anymore. I'm going out to dinner with Izzy tonight. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. I'm not exercising today. So I'm an addict. I'm a recovering addict. I'm able to have a healthier relationship with exercise, but it's always a process. So I just want to shout out a few people who inspired me to make this video. First and foremost, go check out the Thought for Food podcast. My friends Jackson and Aaron, they've been on my YouTube channel many times. I've had them on my podcast. I've been on their podcast. They just put out an episode on exercise addiction that inspired me to make this video. It's a really good, clear podcast that I think could help a lot of people who are going through this. So I'll have a link to all their information to listen to that episode below. And then my buddy Plant-Powered Activist also made a YouTube video about this that I thought was really helpful, that inspired me to contribute. I will link that video in the description below. Please go give him a sub, check him out. And also Thought for Food TV, the podcast guys, have an awesome YouTube channel that I've been sort of binging on lately. Really good stuff. Much love. Dream extreme. Heal yourself. Self-love always wins in the end. It's an ongoing process. Good luck, prosper, and thanks for watching.